impressed with what I've seen with all these guys.
Yeah. They said everyone in that match had a great moment, and this is definitely going to be one of those moments in NXT history where they go back and look at it multiple times. I wouldn't be too surprised if they try and do another repeat of that match, maybe next year at WrestleMania time, just because that went down just so well.
Yeah, well, WWE cut into commercial, of course. Now they're building up tomorrow night. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I knew he'd get mentioned in the podcast, regardless of where we are. You know, I know they have to do it on NXT because it is WrestleMania weekend, but I do like it when they just stick to pure NXT for one night. But the thing is, when it's WrestleMania, you can't not put this type of stuff on because they've got to do it because it's WrestleMania weekend. But I do like it when it's just fall in with NXT rather than putting in WWE stuff as well. But yeah, you knew you were going to get this at some point. People talking about the Hall of Fame, as I was saying. So last night we had the Dudley Boys going in. It was a really cool moment for them. Theirs went on probably one of the longest, I'm going to say, I think. Their speech seems to go on really, really long, and of course you might have seen the videos already. It's been going around where they put the guy through the table, quite a big moment. But it was nice that they made a big mention last night to Spike Dudley. They really wanted him mentioned and were grateful for all the effort that he'd put in, and that was kind of nice that they were honouring him as well throughout that. As we see the backstage, man, look at that little backstage. It's kind of so even this looks a little bit better and thought out than the normal WWE stuff, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just the scenery in the background. As I think now we are going towards the NXT Women's Championship match between Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler. First match they had, Matt, which pretty much told the story that Baszler could dominate and literally rip her head off, but Ember Moon sort of come out and, got the job. She managed to retain by any means and come out at the end of it. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I do feel like the women's division here is a little bit short, shall we say. But are you expecting Baszler to become the NXT Women's Champion tonight, or do you think Ember Moon will get another victory and have to work? I'm guessing if she did win it, it'd have to work her socks off in storyline-wise to make it look legit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be going with Shayna on this one. I think they need someone like her there. They need a dominant champion. I know we're just coming off of not too recently the back of what Oscar did down in NXT, but I think it just makes so much sense to have this woman here in place and everyone else to come up against her to struggle. I think there's a better story to told that way, and I think if once Ember Moon has gotten her rematch, whenever that may be, if she does lose, I think they will move on to Kairi Sane, and that would be another match. We're going back to a bit of history here for the women's tournament.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if they go that route. People. Chris talking about the NXT Hall of Fame as well. He's about Mark Henry. Yeah, I mentioned to Matt about that. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, Mark Henry in his speech, he came out with this very emotional speech about, and it was a real, he said, look, it's not from the company, it's not from WWE, it's not from any of the other wrestlers, he was saying it was literally from him, how much he would really like Martha, which is Owen Hart's, or was wife, widow, to put Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. It was a very emotional speech that he did, but was well received, and it was a big moment, but nice to have that in there as well. I mean, it was a big speech. Also, I want to shout out that there was a lot of mentions of Hulk Hogan. In fact, in the first 4 people that came on, including Kid Rock, they all mentioned, and Devon Dudley did as well, that Hulk Hogan was their guy. And I was like, man, they seem to be mentioning him a lot. There's something in this, I'm sure. Are they trying to gauge reactions again? I'm not sure. But There was a lot of mention of Hulk Hogan last night in all the speeches, which was very... Just one of those things to think about, that's all, because sometimes things are never said just for the sake sometimes. I know it sounds odd, but there are always those little testers going on there. So that was very interesting. And Kid Rock, I've got to say, he handled it well, and then he lost it for a little bit, and then got it back towards the end. It was a very up and down moment as we, I think we're getting another performance going on here, Matt.
Yeah, we remember the entrance here, bit of a special one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, with the moon thing. And again, this is kind of a cool looking imagery, and you wonder as well, Matt, like WrestleMania, can it, you know that there's always those, I guarantee who will get an amazing entrance tomorrow will be Triple H. I guarantee that one, but sometimes you think like Finn Balor and all that, you think like their best stuff's probably been in NXT, hasn't it? Like the one you went to in London when they done the Jack the Ripper thing was so cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're going to ever really get that as good as that back, even on the main roster, which is odd. But just how it goes. But Ember Moon now coming down, she's been there for a while, obviously, when she was first coming up into all this. And she, I think she's found her own. You always get to that point where you are a champion, and sometimes you're not. I've never really accepted her to begin with, but over time I have. And sometimes, wrestlers are like that. Like they take a little bit of time to get over with you, and she's been one of those ones. What's that, mate?
Exactly the same for her character. When I first saw her, I thought this is overblown, too theatrical. And her moveset is very elaborate, especially her special. I kind of felt like, what is that? And I thought it was a stunner, but you're doing it off the top. It was quite unique. I hadn't really seen that too many times before, so credit to her for actually being that innovative there. But the character is just very over the top. But like you said, it has grown on me, and I have become more accepting of it. I do kind of actually like her a lot more than I used to. It's just a shame for her that her time in the company coincided with Oscar's, because I think if Oscar wasn't there, she would have had a bit more a time to shine. But all of her matches against Oscar came off as a loser, and now she has the title because Oscar's left.
Yeah. Well, now we see Shayna Baszler. How impressed are you with her? Obviously we've seen her in the women's tournament, but her performances in NXT, the way they've treated her in this. It's one of those things, I guess, with Ronda Rousey coming in, they have to be careful they don't make two of the same, if you know what I mean, with all this. But are you impressed with her and how she's sort of using, and speaking of Ronda Rousey, there she is, another member of the Horsewomen. That's something I want to talk about, actually, just quickly. Man, last night, God forbid you got Instagram or something, because all those women, I'm telling you, no matter who they're feuding against, they all were getting together, and I was like, man, that has really ended that one for me. My goodness. You'd think they'd try and keep it up a little bit, but no, they didn't. And there was a lot of that going on. I was like, man, you shouldn't be next to her, and why are you with her? And it was crazy. If you follow Paige, my God, she literally got hooked up with everybody together. And I'm not really sure I'm a big fan of that. It's very hard to get invested in something when you see the girls kind of like that. Not the best idea, I would say, when you're going to use social media that way, for me. I know you sent me the photo as well, the 4 horsewomen, didn't you? With just standing there.
Sandra and baby aren't getting on, and well, things be.
Yeah, unbelievable. And well, we got Stay Lucky is watching both NXT and he's also keeping up to date with Ring of Honor. So there you go. He's got 2 TVs set up. He said it's not a bad idea, I suppose. You want to keep in the loop with everything. It's a good idea. So surprising that ROH, they run these things simultaneously as NXT, but then again, I think they go there for the live audience anyway, not so much the TV coverage. But this should be a very wow, literally punch, bang. I'm happy with that, isn't she?
kind of think like that's the danger about this as well. Like, what if Shayna does this better than Ronda does?
Yeah.
You know, what if she transitions to wrestling? Because she has. She's already like at that level. I think she picked this up really quickly, and she knows all the right times to throw a smile, to throw like a dirty look, or to throw up her pose and everything. She knows all about that. There's no like worries there. Her entrance looks serious as well. So, you know, it just kind of makes me wonder, what if they get it right more with Shayna than they do Ronda? Will that be something they can look towards in the future? Or is it just Ronda's name that they're going to keep trying to throw out there?
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you when she was walking down, you know, about that, but the style. But I think the thing is, it's difficult because even if Shayna Baszler, if she was in the position Ronda's in, there's not a lot you can go from with the way they keep sending her out doing the same thing every week, and you know, really showing all the weaknesses. Whereas at least here on NXT, the way it's produced and everything is a little bit more bell to bell, and I guess that's the way to go. But I think with Ronda, I think the wrestling community, not so much everybody else's interest, but the wrestling community is all interested about what the performance is in the ring. Is there something there? Are we going to be surprised, shocked, and relieved almost that she's going to be a great worker, or are we not? You know, I think people are also asking, is she going to be like the Brock Lesnar division? She doesn't sell as much, and she's just going to do the MMA stuff, or is she going to, take to the whole wrestling stuff? But from all the training videos I've seen, it looks like she's going the more wrestling side of it, even stuff off the top rope. So that'll be interesting. Wow, that is strength there from Baszler, picking her up, just literally chucking this woman around like nothing. But don't forget, Baszler was an MMA fighter as well back in the day. She had a career not in UFC but elsewhere, and she's got that imprint. But you can tell as well she's got a passion in pro wrestling. I mean, you don't just turn up here and just think I'm gonna just start wrestling, do you? You know what I mean? Like she's got a passion. But like you say, Matt, her character is developing quite nicely down here. Like who she is, what she's about, and it's quite transparent to how she is in the ring as well, which is cool.
Who do you have win this then? If you're booking this match,
I go Baszler on this one. Yeah, I don't see it any other way. However, I think Ember Moon will get more in on this particular match, but I don't see her winning. I just see Shayna Baszler winning this one. But I could be wrong, but that's the way I'm going with it. How about you? Are you
yeah, the same thing. Yeah. I go down that way. It'd be much the same as the last match. I think we'll see Ember Moon putting up a valiant effort. I think that's what she's good at, though. She's good at telling stories in ring, Ember. That she is a fighter, and she does actually make it look like a struggle in her matches to actually get every win she can get her hands on.
Yeah, just picking up on that news from earlier as well about Alberto Del Rio, Alberto El Patron. He has news coming out now, even more news that he has definitely been terminated from Impact Wrestling. So I know lots of people are asking about this, about yesterday's no-show with the big Lucha Underground versus Impact Wrestling show that was supposed to feature him very heavily. And of course he did a no-show. He has been terminated, so not the best news for Impact Wrestling, as usual. It's not good for Lucha Underground either, who were joining in on the show.
Well, that was quite a unique way of getting out of that hole.
Yeah. Incredible stuff's going on so far. Kind of looking forward to this match. I mean, this is, again, talk about the women's division and evolution, all the rest of it they bring out, but this is a big thing for it as well, that these two women can do down here. Ricky now is telling me about that. Apparently, because for some reason everyone's talking about Alberto Del Rio tonight, but apparently there's videos surfacing of Del Rio out with Carlito in New Orleans, absolutely drunk. And apparently that video is surfacing. He's going to send me a link to it, so Yeah, it doesn't sound good, does it, with all this at the moment? Carlito's in